You always make me feel on top, like I'm the only woman in the world, yeah. Taking care of business, you a boss. You always make her look.
And her brain is been 6 hours because she's drinking so hard.
It's only
You're drinking just as hard, girl.
Yes, but I'm remembering to eat, unlike some people.
That was really good.
So we're gonna keep focused. So we're gonna wrap it up.
Yes.
Oh my god.
Wrap it up. I'm gonna keep wrapping up this drink in my mouth.
Oh my god. But speaking on Molly and Issa,
The heart of the show.
the heart of the show, y'all, that wedding scene.
That was a Molly wedding.
That dress.
First of all, that dress was amazing.
That entrance, that dress.
That dress, everything was great.
The bridesmaids.
Everything, yes. Okay, Tureen snuck up on us, but I'm like, yes,
Love it.
yes, he's perfect for her.
Everything.
Their journey has been so interconnected and so real. Cause I ain't gonna lie, last year, something hit.
A pepper?
Was it the graduated drink?
It was the graduated.
We graduated. Graduated drink.
And all of a sudden, it's not as bad as when we did the Scarlet Witch and I hadn't started drinking halfway through and my brain left. But I'm like, I'm okay. But when last year I wanted to fight Molly.
Oh yeah.
I wanted to fight her. I don't know a single person that I know, even if they love Molly, that didn't want to fight her.
They didn't even watch the show and they wanted to
People
fight her.
did, yes.
And then they went and watched the show.
And they did such a good job because you know what? Sometimes you do have friendships like that where you just go through it. I have at least one friend where there was a decent time where he and I didn't speak. I was mad at him for some shit he did. And I'm like, and now he's one of the people that is ride or die. Mm-hmm. But he did some shit and I was like, we gonna fight. If I see you, we're gonna fight. So you do go through that with your friendships, but I like how they realistically built it up. I like that for once Issa wasn't doing all the work.
Yeah.
Molly did a lot of work both on her friendship with Issa and on herself. Mm-hmm. Because as we touched on earlier, Molly was the problem in all of Molly's relationships. I love her so much, but she was the problem in every single one of her relationships.
She was so much the problem in that relationship. So when she was going on blind dates with like Jadena, he had to point it out to her.
Yeah.
He was like, it seems like you need a win.
Yeah.
Which hurt, but was he wrong?
No.
He wasn't wrong. I'm like, you could have gone about that so much more tactfully.
You are your own worst enemy in so many aspects.
Yeah. So, but Issa and Molly's journey, separately and together, has been just fascinating for me. At least personally for me, because I like I said earlier, the thing that struck me with Issa was that I didn't believe in myself. It wasn't until I started believing in myself that everything started to happen. And a good part of that journey was her relationship with Nathan.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I feel a certain type of way that she ended up with Lawrence. It's realistic because it's messy, and that's how life is. Mm-hmm. And is he the best person for her? I still don't think so. I feel like Lawrence is the type of dude to do some shit and then try to cover it up.
I feel like they had to be apart so he could grow his people.
And then
he's at the place where Issa really wanted him to be in
season one. But that is a good point.
But she's grown too.
Yes.
So are they good together now?
Probably. They seemed like it.
Well, they tried to make it out like that was her soulmate. And first of all, I'm not one of those people that believes in that.
I don't think that's the case
because
it's
messy. So I don't think her and Lawrence are supposed to be together. I think this is going to be another kind of messy thing. She's trying to make house. She's going to get bored. It's not going to work because she got bored with him before.
I do think
the love is there.
The love is there.
The love is definitely there. There is no doubting that. And I think her and Nathan were more compatible for many reasons. But he also didn't want the drama. He does not want the drama, and
that's fair.
She brought that into that relationship. Not her fault, but sort of her fault. Mm-hmm. But yes, the drama was brought in the relationship, and he's like, I can't I don't want this. I
Yeah.
can't do this. And
It's
that
not
is
good for my mental health.
That's not good for his mental health, and which sucks because I actually was really rooting for them to move forward. Do I think they were doing it too quickly? Absolutely. But again, I thought they were more compatible.
Yep.
Their creative minds,
Mm-hmm.
I think, were more on par. They were very different creative minds.
But it was the same energy.
It was the energy. It was the, like, again, going out to the neighborhoods, being part of that.
Mm-hmm.
And
which Lawrence was never interested in.
Lawrence, yeah,
Never interested.
Never had interest, never had a part of.
No.
And I'm sorry, it's going to take a lot to be a parental figure in a stepchild situation, and I don't think...
cute as hell.
Oh, adorable!
It is. That's an adorable
Nothing
child.
wrong with the child. Child is a child.
A cute baby.
Yes.
But it is another thing to be a step parent, and I don't think Issa is...
At that age, too. Because we got to remember that she's your age.
Yeah.
So she's a good 10 years younger than me. What?
I'm not putting my age
I'm
in
not,
there.
I don't care.
I'm somewhere in the middle, but
She's in the middle.
Also, I know I do not want to be a stepmommy to anybody because
And I've earned every one of my gray hairs, and I don't care.
That's a lot. That is a lot. That's a huge...
Yeah, especially when you're just starting. Now,
Commitment.
granted, she's not just starting out. She is well established at this point, which was a really good thing for her character, which I thought was an interesting thing with the parallel between her and Molly. When we first meet Molly, Molly professionally has all of her shit together. And so...
Yeah, she's pretty established.
She was already established. She risked it to leave to go do the exact same thing that Kelly eventually ended up doing, working for her people and in her community, and lifting up people who look like her and who are other underrepresented minorities. And so I thought that was really interesting that she then did the same thing to encourage Kelly to do the same thing. Because there is something to be said that if we as women and we as members of the BIPOC community and members of the LGBTQIA communities actually worked within our communities to lift each other up. How much? Because we have the voting block and we have the money block, but we don't use it. We don't use it as effectively as we could.
Yeah.
We could, we don't.
We could.
But that's a whole other conversation.
That's a whole other podcast.
That's a whole other
A whole other
podcast.
podcast. That is actually a group
Yes.
initiative.
Yes, it is. But I really liked... I really like that we saw the ups and downs in the friendship. If this was a lesser show, their friendship would have been over.
After that
Oh, yeah.
party.
After the
on
event,
block,
the
block
first
party.
major block event, Issa's first major professional win that she did by herself. Without Koya, because Koya,
Yeah.
everybody needs a Koya in her life.
Everybody needs
Everyone needs a Koya in a Kelly.
Yes.
Honestly.
Yes. And shout out to that actress as well, because she is, talk about somebody who takes 5 minutes of screen time every episode and makes the absolute most of it.
Yeah.
But if this was a lesser show, that would have been the end of it. But because the show is real and life isn't that easy, they instead went the more adult and mature route and actually unpacked the problems from both. I love that we got to see it from both sides. As mad as Molly made me, we got a chance to see it from why both of them were mad.
Yeah.
It would all been of Issa's side.
Yeah.
Especially since Issa's a creator of the show.
Yeah.
She would have made herself look.
Everything else.
She would have, if this was a lesser written show, she would have written it so that she was 100% in the right. But instead, she fully put us in Molly's shoes. Yeah. There were whole sections. There was a whole episode that we didn't even see Issa.
Yeah.
Then last year when she and fine ass hot Asian guy, whose name I can't remember, but you know who I meant. When they went away on vacation.
Yes, that's right.
We didn't see Issa at all.
No.
This was a lesser show. We would have never gotten that.
I
But
wanted
because
to be on that vacation though.
right. But because Issa Rae is such a good writer and is so generous, she was like, now we're going to move the focus. And so I am just so appreciative of the hard-earned friendship, because I feel like, especially these days, people think friendships are easy. They're not. We all have friends, mutual and separate, where it's like some days I'm like, I will strangle you.
Yeah, everything is harder now because we can do on the medias of I can just block people, but yeah. So it is harder, and I mean it's harder as you get older too to keep friendships because as people get older, their lives change.
Oh no,
That was like with Kelly,
and Tiffany.
having a baby changes friendships, and it certainly does.
It really
I have
does.
plenty of friends that used to be like some of my besties that have gone on different paths, and now they have new besties because, I mean, not just saying because that person has, I mean, they're all amazing people.
But they friends and
they
have a
can
shared
have
experience.
Yeah,
like you don't have
exactly.
kids.
Like I can't be like, yeah, I totally know about breastfeeding. Like my vagina's never the same because an 8-pound baby came out of it.
Oh God, I don't want to think about it.
I know.
It's so terrifying. So terrifying.
And good for you for doing it.
For real.
Like,
Yes.
Yes.
Done it, you're a hero.
I am a
honestly.
chicken shit. I am terrified.
It's terrifying, and I'm not even being like facetious. That's just terrifying.
Sounds like a nightmare. I can't imagine.
Every part of
Proud of
childbirth
you.
sounds
All
from
the
the
love.
conception on sounds like, and like the fun part is making the baby, and then everything
The
else
fun
goes.
part is making the baby. The F thing is the after effects of your
Oh,
vagina
yeah.
looks the same, your belly's fucked up, you don't sleep, and your money's gone.
Yeah, it's a lot.
I can't relate.
And that's if you have a partner who's 100% in,
That's
That's not even
At one
if you-
point he was.
or she.
Sorry.
We don't know. We don't know how it works.
Yeah.
We don't. I mean, like these days, you can get artificially inseminated and make it work the other fashioned way. But regardless, if that even if you have a partner who is 100% in the raising, but that's not even getting into if you are a single parent, and if you don't have the financial place that say Tiffany and Kelly are working from. So
Cheers to all the parents out there.
cheers to every
Good for
parent
you.
who actually is a good parent.
I will drink another one because I just broke the table.
Get in there. Get in there. Get in there. David, you have one job. Over. Oh, this is staying there.
First of all, I don't know how that happened.
Oh my God, that is amazing. You got a cool understatement. Oh my God.
Have you ever been to a concert beer? We're only $15.
I literally went like this with my leg, and it went nope.
It's like you didn't even touch it. That's what the
That's
funniest
the
part
best
is.
part.
Connect them.
This is a good
And this-
mention
and
that
this
I had a very dirty thought you guys to say.
episode
Basically, we
of
all
Tables
I
Collapsing
might be what you like.
It was brought to you by physics.
Aren't they all?
Gravity.
Maybe.
My worst
But you're in
enemy.
the fun part, which I'll never understand because it's sexuality.
Never
But
gonna
still.
give you up. Never gonna
It's like, no,
let
but
you
like, you guys been holding
down.
Never gonna fold a tray.
I would say-
Hurt you.
But my mind immediately went to the dirty.
I love that you all immediately, everybody here immediately went dirty. And I was just like, I'm talking about all in emotionally, you dirty, dirty children.
But like you said, I loved the parallel of in the season
What I
one.
get for buying things off
Molly
Amazon.
really has her shit together professionally, whereas Issa doesn't. And Issa, I mean, despite the problems with Lawrence, she has her personal life together.
Until she doesn't.
Well, the juxtaposition between her
Yeah.
and Molly, where it's like one of them has
At least she has a
professional life, but not the
boyfriend,
personal,
right.
One has personal but not professional.
And it's not until they both find the
Yeah.
balance of being, Allie's like, I'm just going to sit here and pray that I don't break a table.
My ADHD is not kicked in at all right now. What are you talking about? Table?
Oh my God. Anyway, just focus on me.
You're
While our roadie fixes the table. Oh, this is all saying in. This is what you get for watching Drunk Review.
It's real life.
It's real life. It writes the plot sometimes. But
I love that you say focus on me, but my highlights.
Oh, wait, what? Are we talking? Are we doing stuff?
look at me. Look at.
You're so pretty
I'm
and
looking at you, and I'm
sparkly.
looking at the side.
Old
Anyway.
logo.
Anyway.
So, who made the bop in the bop swap?
Anyway, what I was gonna say is, so I feel like the show, Molly and Issa earn their happy ending.
Yes.
In a way.
I turned 12 apart.
Yeah, I went down on that table, bro.
That was wrap this up. And what we're gonna
I haven't even.
What we're gonna do is talk about. That's what we're gonna do
No,
next.
you've contributed to this.
You definitely have.
You really have.
And all I want to say to wrap this particular section up is that I appreciate how amazingly talented Issa Rae and Yvonne Orji are. Oh my God, there's so much stuff happening.
Yes.
And how well done the finale was, even though I did feel like we could have spent more time.
We need a movie.
We need a
wrap up. We need to know what happens to them. Not even like 5 years, but like seriously, a year after this, because there's a new baby happening.
There's two.
That's right.
There's
Two babies.
I need to know how those friendships are happening. Yes. I need to know where Kelly's going. I need to know where everybody's going. And to leave it like that, yes, I guess it was on a high note on some of them, but it's so many loose ends.
Left so many questions.
And in a way, it's good because you want to show the end where you're like, I need more. You don't want it to run into the ground. Walking Dead.
That show has so many open endings.
I said what I said.
I haven't even watched Fear.
Okay.
On one hand, I wish it was all kind of neatly tied up in a bow.
But that's not real.
But that's not real.
That's not reality either.
So,
Yeah.
like, I dearly wish we had gotten an extra season where we could have seen, like, Kelly's engaged and she's getting pregnant. They're having and we could have gotten like the bachelorette party. That could have been a whole
I really wish I'd seen the
like,
bachelorette party.
Like,
though.
I wish we had just gotten to spend more time with these characters.
I would have loved to see Molly's bachelorette party because if the way her and Taurine hit that snack tray at that party was any indication, that shit was awesome.
Their college reunion.
Oh my God!
Like I feel like it's gonna be one of those where they run into a friend and they wind up getting robbed by one of their own.
Or hijacked or kidnapped or something.
They're like, well, we were gonna party,
but we got involved in an international incident.
we wanted to score some marijuana.
I wish we had gotten more time.
I wish we
had seen that bachelor. I wish we had seen Molly really repairing the relationship with her father so that the Dancing with Murder Wedding really had a full payoff. I wish we had seen Kelly's relationship with this new man who I guess is her soulmate because he is the one who made her realize I just want kids with you. I listen to you.
Yeah.
I wish we could have seen Tiffany healing from her postpartum to the point where she was prepared to
have another baby.
Like I wish we had seen all of these things, and I really we would have needed another season or two to do that.
Yeah.
But I think they still ended on a really high note that makes the show rewatchable in a way that like Girlfriends is rewatchable. In a way that Girlfriends is rewatchable, in a way that Golden Girls is rewatchable.
Yes!
Also, this is a show that
Betty White.
God, Betty White.
We love you. Yeah.
I'm choosing that she took 2021 down with her because it was a dumpster fire.
It was
not
a
that it
dumpster fire.
took her.
And I'm glad she went.
But this show has the rewatchability because it's real. It's messy and it's real and it's grounded. And a lot of shows don't have that rewatchability.
Because they're afraid. They're afraid to do things where it's actually the best shows, whether they be sci-fi, whether they be dramedies, whether they're comedies. Don't shy away from actual real-life conversations.
But they also did, so yes, it was a journey with the characters and the huge storyline, which is, love it. But every episode, I could watch them out of order.
Yes!
Like every episode had their own like
arc.
Their own something where it was like, okay, I can watch this and enjoy
the episode. You can come in at season 2, episode 3, and still be like, okay, I like these people.
Yeah, exactly. So I want this to be not just for HBO viewers. I want people to be able to see this on any platform. Because it's such
a groundbreaking show in its realness.
Yes, it's spectacular.
It's your turn. Wanna treat you so damn good that it's gonna hurt. You can get it how you like. Don't even gotta ask me twice. I'll do it carte blanche for you. If you want me to, I'll do it carte blanche for you. Carte blanche for you. You can get it how you like. Don't even gotta ask me twice. I'll do it carte blanche for you.
So again, with this show, HBO, I would love for this to be able to be shared on different platforms so that more people can enjoy this story.
Yes.
I mean, I don't know about you girls, but HBO has brought us a lot of other shows.
Some better than others.
Some more deserving than others.
So let's get into it, Allie. Why is this show so much better than Sex and the City and Just Like That? She's like, I gotta drink more first. Okay.
Okay.
You mean there was no growth?
So,
Okay.
don't get me wrong, there are certainly things about Sex and the City when it first debuted, which mind you, I wasn't part of because I was poor. I didn't have the HBOs and all these like fancy things. It took me to go to college where people had it on DVD, which I feel like I'm talking to people. DVDs were like those circular things. I don't know how far into the future we are right now, but like they came out. They weren't even like a Blu-ray.
You don't know if like
Yeah,
Gen Z is
thing.
watching this.
I don't know.
Blu-rays?
I don't know the whatever they come in the formats. Anything
Oh,
you got
God. Okay.
So I watched it in the colleges, and I was like, "Oh, this is fun!" And I was like, "Yeah, Sex in the City," and parts of it, trust me, were definitely like, "Yeah, I'm gonna be secure in my body of feeling like sex positive," and there's some good teaching here and there. I'm trying to hold this in the brightest light possible. So I've never lived in New York City. I have visited there plenty enough. I grew up in a city close to it, as you all know, Baltimore or Baltimore, depending on
Oh, God.
your
Depending on if you pronounce
No.
it correctly
Yeah.
or not.
Stop that
Yeah,
now.
I don't know.
Wait, which one would you define as correctly?
I enunciate everything.
Thank
so
you.
Yeah, I did theater, so
That's
I
what
like to
I'm saying. I
enunciate
have to
things
say
to
it
begin with, so it's
correctly.
always Baltimore. I like that T, it's nice. So anyways, Bopsy. So there was like these movies that happened after the show, and I was like,
Why?
why? I mean, I went and I watched them with my girlfriends that we sort of knew about Sex and the City together. We're like, oh my god, we're gonna get Cosmos. And then watch these toxic relationships happen on the big screen.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, why is Aiden coming up again? Because that was atrocious. And Mr. Big, which I'm like, somebody like literally standing up in a cafeteria like, oh my god, they got engaged after 15 years of horrible relationship. They're finally getting married. They're meant to be. I mean, I guess, but not after all the bullshittery that happened. So also not relatable. Unless you are some sort of millionaire living in New York City that can enjoy this small apartment, which guess what? If you're a writer in New York City,
You're not
you
living there.
can't live there.
Unless you inherited it.
Like, it's not a thing, kind of like Friends, but that's a whole nother kid as
But
well.
But
That was
again,
a
Monica
grandparent.
didn't even own her. She got
Yeah,
it
it
from
was-
she
her grandmother.
inherited.
Like, she
And so
inherited, so-
they at least touched on that. Okay. So, there was a drunk podcast way back, where you were like, oh, hey, there's another Sex and the City. I was like, well, I guess, okay, I'll watch this next movie. And you said, no, it's going to be a
I
show.
was like, no, Alice.
And I lost my ever living.
She did. It was
Because I was, why? They shouldn't have done that first movie. They shouldn't have done a second movie. And now they're doing a show. And Kim Cattrall isn't even in it? Are you kidding me?
Because apparently those women were not her main friend group. They were a group of friends, but they were not her main friend group. So she was easily able to transplant herself out of it and just go live her
The
life.
girl that they also fat shamed in the last movie. Because, yeah.
I never
So,
watched this movie.
as
You really
far,
don't.
yeah,
I
as
don't
far
like
as
that.
relatable friendships, dear God, most toxic group of bitches ever. With the most cringe-worthy first episode, and thank God he had a heart attack because look what's going on with his media group.
If you hadn't known about the whole,
Whoa!
look up Chris Noth and sexual assault, and we'll
Like,
leave it at that.
it shouldn't have happened. It makes me angry that it happened. Why this is like on the forefront of the white women, like, yay, we get a girlfriend TV show. Bitches, really? This is what you watch? This is not freaking relatable at all! Like, when was the last time you bought a $700 pair of shoe Milano Blancos? Never. Unless you're freaking living in Roland.
You can get it how you like.
The camera has died about 10 times since I've been wanting to just like wrap this up. So, again, I'm trying to compare Sex and the City bitches to our insecure ladies. And yes, that's right. So, in a Baltimore stance, this is like Roland Park problems in like Parkville area.
That's actually very accurate. Yeah.
And because I live in both, I
Grew
up in Roland Park,
Mm-hmm.
and I live in Parkville. So it's like, one is like, oh my god, my Milano Blahnik shoes that are like $700 and they went missing, and this is ruining my week. And Parkville is like, I need to make sure I can pay my bills and eat. And so
very different points of view.
that's fun.
Right.
So Sex and the City decided they wanted to do another show with a bunch of characters that are cringy, bringing up cringy topics.
And they're just unrelatable.
And unrelatable white women. And now one is apparently bi for funsies. And because I watched the last episode and I was like, oh, honey.
Is this the Miranda storyline I keep hearing about?
The Miranda storyline. And
I never watched it.
It's like, they've all been bi-curious at some point in their life. And if her character actually was, it would be more believable, but it seems so forced, just like everything else.
It's like the writers just want to get diversity.
They're like, we want to be like on the front lines of diversity and everything else, and I'm like, yeah, but still.
Well, it would help. And one of the things, like, one of our writers for PCU, and one of our contributors, if you're not watching the movie remix, you should be, because it's awesome.
Yeah.
And Sherry, who runs the movie remix edition, she said, somehow these people, and she's like, and I'm the same age as these women, and somehow they are more out of touch than they were in 2001.
Yeah.
How is that possible?
Like, you cannot go back and rewatch most of those episodes because, for one,
It's cringy.
Back then, it was kind of like, oh, really? You talk to
Even
people,
then,
like,
it was a little much.
you talk to gay people that way?
Okay.
Like, okay, because I guess they're just characters in your life that are just like for comedic relief.
Can I just, as someone who, again, never had HBO, but also I was younger than the ladies in the show, so I had no interest in watching Sex and the City. But
I did like
I do remember there was a whole thing with, like, here's the stereotype of the white gay best friend. He's just your gay bestie.
He has no actual relationship.
And then they put them together in a relationship at the end.
Yes.
Which made everybody feel so much better. It's like,
And there was like, here's the two gay men who were like, you know, we want to get weird. Let's just have sex with a woman. Even though we're 100%
That's
gay. And
not a thing.
It's
Yeah,
not
no,
a thing. I just remember things
I
like
had-
that, so
I have
never had any interest. Like, even then, people said it was so groundbreaking then, which I don't understand. Because you hear about instances like that happening in the show.
And it's like,
I'm
who's
like,
writing this?
wow.
So the only thing
Even
groundbreaking about that show, and I will give it to it, was girls being sexually active because of Samantha's character. And without, because she was honestly the only character that I was like, yes. Like, she was fearless, she loved.
She the Kelly.
She loved hard.
She
Kelly
loved her.
Yes.
She was an amazing career woman. She was strong. She knew her sexual presence. She didn't give a shit, and she went for it.
Yeah.
So she was the strong female presence that I loved in that show.
And she's not here.
And
again, I'm just telling you what the social
because she did not want to be
that's
a
not her
part
main
of
friend
it.
group.
So
She got cut out of that friend group, and she was like, "It's fine. It's not my
the
main
fact
group."
that they've brought Sex and the City back and back and back and back and back, and it's, again, it's beating the dead horse.
Like Supernatural.
You are sure.
Wow.
Sorry.
That is
How dare you! You know we're gonna turn on you like you want to see a whole room turn on you. Oh God! I thought I was saying, look at what you've done. Look what you've done. Holy crap!
You can talk shit about Walking Dead all day long. Don't you dare talk about my Sam that way.
Look, I love Sam too, but that show.
No, you don't. Focus. We're gonna focus back because
We need to bring it back. Mary's bring it back to different fandoms.
We
that
need to
she
get
is wrong about.
Mary from
Wrong about, by
in
the
this
way.
place.
Like, she's not gonna get her
I'm
chicken
trying
dinner
to
now
save your
because she
life.
being dumb.
I am trying to save your life.
No, she's done. She's done. She's done. It's fine.
But do I look at all upset?
It is fine. It is fine.
This is called Dancing with the Devil in the Pale
She's
Moonlight.
retired.
Oh, God. Oh, God. Okay, come on, because Allie's going to be okay. It's okay. It's okay.
I'm trying to bring it back, and you're like talking about shows that it doesn't even have anything to do with this, and your opinion doesn't matter. Alcohol. This is why it's a drug for me.
What I was going to say, and to your
Sex and the
point.
City is dumb. It's horrible. Stop making it. Why are you doing this to us? I am a completionist, and I'm watching it, and it makes me angry every time. It's almost as
It's you as an arrow.
Like, it's
all over again.
It pretty much is at this point as well, because, oh my god, the last thing you did with Sex and the City with a text message with Samantha, seriously, so dumb. So,
I will say.
bring Insecure back for, like, a wonderful
movie.
Like, I think 2 years down the road would be, like, the perfection.
Yeah.
Because I want to know where the babies are at this point. They'll be, like, 2 years old.
Yeah.
They're gonna have the big sister.
Yeah,
they're gonna go to Denver
something,
for like some like family trip.
See how Issa's dealing with being a stepmom.
I don't know how Issa is still gonna be there. Honestly,
She didn't look happy.
I don't
When she's
think
in the mirror in the
I
bathroom
honestly
alone,
don't
she didn't
know
look
if she'll
happy.
carry that through. I would love to have the beginning of the movie to have like some flashbacks, but flashbacks that we've never seen.
Yes.
Like the bachelorette party, getting ready for the wedding, the after the wedding scenes, and then like the lead up. Okay, so this was her birthday where he was gonna have a babysitter. Issa's going out for her birthday alone. Like, and maybe like fade into that, into the friendships, and then like pick up from there.
My biggest thing, to touch on both points, I think that they purposely left everything open-ended on Insecure for a reason. So that if they do decide, it's much like Watchmen season 1 was. If they decide that there's a story, they have space to make it. But if not, it's a good ending. So that's the first thing. One of the shows that HBO did not screw up and didn't let run on too long.
That's true. It's good from start to finish.
Yes.
A few shows that's good from start to finish.
Yes.
Game of Thrones.
But also, I'm still mad. But also, the reason that this show works and Sex and the City does not is that there's no people of color in the writing room. It's why little things like on The Mandalorian and on Book of Boba Fett, the difference is huge because there's people of color in the writing room. And little things like they went to deaf actors and had them create a language for the Tusken Raiders on The Mandalorian. And so suddenly we have a whole culture that we've never thought about before. Literally, Star Wars has been around my entire life and we've never thought about it. Now we're all in. And it's because it makes a difference when you put disabled people, when you put POC and the people in the writing room, when you put LGBTQIA people who are not just gay white men in the writing room, because the Sex and the City is written by gay white men.
Yeah.
And you can tell.
Yeah.
When you put those people behind the scenes, all of a sudden, and that's not saying that there's not a place for straight white men, but obviously there's a place for all of us.
That is the mix.
And the biggest thing is when you exclude everything when everything is written in exclusion of these groups, then you get And Just Like That. Where they're speaking from a place where they have no knowledge. You would think that they would put Cynthia Nixon as a writer, her being a gay woman who was closeted through most of Sex and the City.
Yeah.
But no.
And they somehow still made her story unbelievable.
Cringy.
Yeah.
And cringy.
I don't remember who it was. It was someone who was in the production crew for Insecure.
Yeah.
And he said, I would go to set every day and I'd be in the van. And I would be the only white guy in that van. And that is the first time that has ever happened in like the 30, 40 years I've been in the industry. And it was great because we're just a family.
Yeah.
Like, he would show up to work every day and be like the only white guy in the whole crew. And he's like, it didn't matter.
It didn't matter.
It did not matter. The work ethic is there, and we're a family.
And then something like Kurt Acevedo, who, hey friend, I love you, is, no, because we're actually friends. And, and he wrote an amazing thread on Twitter about how in the 30 plus years he's been in the business, since he was a teenager, he has had 12, he could count them, women directors, and less than that in terms of BIPOC.
Yeah.
And even less than that in terms of specifically Latino or Hispanic.
And
That makes no sense to me. In the year 2022, we are in the 21st century, y'all.
We're in 22 too, and people still think it's forced diversity to see a cast that is not a majority of white straight men.
But can we agree on this at least? With all the streaming services, we are getting more and more representation now because it's not on the mainstream television and movies.
And it's not American focused.
And these are the people that are watching them and paying more money to see these, and that's gonna continue.
Change everything, and hopefully Insecure is the bellwether of what's coming going forward.
I feel like it definitely is because, I mean, what did you do during quarantine?
Watch Insecure.
Yeah,
I rewatched it from the top.
But I watched more and more different shows.
Yes.
I mean, how many people watch shows that had different languages? I know I did multiple times.
Speaking of, shout out to Ragnarok.
I just did that regularly. I'm sorry.
Well, okay. I also subscribed to a lot more things because I could. I was like, well, I'm gonna be at home on my couch. I'm gonna subscribe to more television things that I can watch, more diverse. And I was like, oh, this one is made in Cuba. Okay,
sure.
Like let's do this. The story. I don't know any of the actors. I don't know any things. I was like, let's do this. And I'm like,
it's good. I'm fully engaged.
Engaged. So I think we are on a turning point with
media,
television shows, friendship shows, and I think Insecure is a beautiful waypoint to put an impactful woman power show, friendship show in the front point. And if you haven't watched it,
you need to.
What are you doing with your life?
Seriously.
Seriously. You will connect on this show on so many levels. Like, if you've had a friend of any gender in your life, you will relate to it.
There's somebody on that show. There's a single character who's going to speak to you on a personal level. Yeah. That's just really it. And that, I think, is the best way you can put it. The reason Insecure is so impactful is because it is one of the few shows that no matter who you are, my Scottish husband found people he could relate to on that show. One of my friends, one of my Mexican best friends, found people he could relate to on that show. My two white girls found people they could relate to on that show because good writing. You don't. I love you, but no.
Sorry, this is the way my parents reproduce. I also have short arms, but that doesn't. I don't know. That's what I've been told today. I have no pigment and I have short arms.
So, said all that to say.
My friends still love me.
We love you so much. Said all that to say, oh my God, that is a mess. Where is this a mess? Oh, and it's for you. And I'm leaving it all in.
Cheers.
Issa Rae.
Issa Rae, we love you.
Thank you.
Come to Baltimore for a stand-up, please.
Oh my God,
please. After COVID, though.
Please don't risk your life coming here. Although we're doing better than most cities, but still, don't risk your life coming here.
Issa, we would love to have you here.
And there's like 3 houses that you can stay at right now.
Oh my God. I would put you up in my entire house. There are 5 bedrooms. Like, do this.
Yeah.
Like, whenever. Oh my God.
I have puppies. I'm just gonna point that out.
We love you. You're amazing.
And we hope nothing but continued success for you and everyone involved in the show.
Cheers. We're gonna go eat Peruvian chicken now.
It's time for some Peruvian food. We are done.
Let's get some chicken.
It's time to eat food.
Hasta luego.
Peace.